We have a living legend sitting right across the table from us, and it's the guy sitting behind Dario Franchitti. I'm kidding.
I was going to say.
Dario Franchitti joining us. He was looking over his shoulder. I'm like, yes, it was the guy behind you. How you doing?
I'm doing all right this morning, thank you. How are you guys?
I'm doing okay. I'm okay. I have to ask you, how good is the milk in Winner's Circle? Is it as good as advertised?
That's this man. He's been there a couple of times.
It's the best tasting thing ever.
Is it really?
Yeah, Scotty B is a magic bullet. He was the guy for both Dan and myself, 11 and 12. He was our lucky charm. And but the milk is amazing because it's frozen. It's so cold. People say, "Oh, milk after all that work and that temperature." It's ice cold. Tastes amazing, but they only give you one bottle.
That's it?
Yeah, I poured a load on my head in 2012 as a tribute to Dan Weldon, and then I was really thirsty because it was like a 100-degree day. And I said to the guy, "Can I have some more?" And he's like, "No." I said, but you've got a couple of bottles. That one's for so-and-so, and that one's for so-and-so, and no, you can't.
Yeah, he was just here. He was just walking around with the bottle of milk.
Oh, was he?
Oh, yeah.
So it's been out for 2 weeks. So it should be really tasty come Sunday.
Lovely. They ask you before it. Do you feel all the drivers that qualify for the race fill a form in? If you win the Indianapolis 500, what kind of milk would you like? And I was like, I don't care. It can be 20-year-old yak's milk. If I win that race, I don't care. I'm drinking it. But yeah, it's. I thought the bottles were lost because I had a couple of moves from Nashville up to Indy and then over to Scotland when I moved back. Yeah. And I was sitting there and I suddenly thought, ow! But I found them, so we're all good.
Yeah, so Dario has the most incredible setup with all of his trophies and his helmets, and he's a great historian. Besides being one of the most prolific Indianapolis and IndyCar drivers of all time, winning the Indy 500 3 times, and being a great friend. When we sponsored and worked with Dario in 2012 and 2013, I always wanted to get a helmet, and he said, "Oh yeah, hey mate, it's in the post, blah blah blah," and I never got the helmet, right? And so Dario came to Nashville earlier this year, and we're down looking at the cars, and he excuses himself for a minute and comes walking in and surprised me with a helmet from that season, and it was so special. It's such a prize to have that. And when Dario won in 2012, it was a wonderful day, and we really became much closer after Dan Weldon passed. We were both good friends, kind of on both sides of Dan, and it was one of those things like, where have you been all my life? It's like my brother, right? And when he pulled in, the bagpipes were playing, and I was standing right there when Dario came in, and we had that moment as he's driving in. It's like he just won for the 3rd time. It was such a great moment. I'll never forget.
That was a cool day, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in Nashville for 17 years.
That's where the accent comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. Just south of Nashville,
Yeah.
It's slightly, slightly different.
Deep south.
Yeah.
Deep south.
And so when I when I met Scott, I was like, where have you been? How have we never hung out? And then we started hanging out and driving cars and, talking nonsense and stuff. So it's, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What's that feeling like? The very, like when you win your first 500, you cross that finish line and it's you. You are the winner. What is it like, that first one?
My first one was in the rain. Rain-shortened race, which might be quite apt this weekend. Driving along thinking, did it just happen? No, is somebody going to take this away? No, because all the times of trying, you can't believe it's happened, and then you realize it, and hell breaks loose for about 2 weeks. It actually hit me quite a bit later. It was one of those. I'm quite a slow burner. Like in 2010, I was riding a motorcycle through the outback in October, and it hit me that I'd won, and I just started laughing. So it's not a sort of immediate satisfaction. And it's actually the one race you can enjoy, or can't, but you do enjoy it for a bit longer. Normally you sort of run the podium and you're celebrating, and it's like, right, next week I've got another race. Where this one you tend to enjoy it just that bit more and for a bit longer. And it's I still remember those. I don't remember much anymore with all the head injuries, but I remember those 3 different wins very clearly. Seeing my friends, my family, and my team coming in when I was in Victory Lane.
Wow. I mean, I can't imagine, it's like, I can't imagine, like, you go 500 miles, and it's like a hot day, or in a small car, the engine's hot, and you just get through, like, holy crap, I just won the 500. I mean, I cannot imagine that feeling.
And then you pour a bunch of milk on your head. And,
exactly.
And then it starts to smell.
Well,
then reality really
remember
sets in.
it is 100 degrees that day, and
probably more than that in the car.
And it's in the suit, and it's like, we need to get that suit clean.
Yeah. Well, the car heat soaks, so all the engine heat and everything radiates forward to in the tub where you're sitting. And we had Bullseye, the target dog, with us that weekend for the third one. And she was sitting next to me in the press conference afterwards, and you could see she's starting to sort of sniff. She's like, oh, God.
Yeah, when the dog can smell it and then goes the other way. Yeah.
Yeah. So I apologize, Bullseye. I'm sorry about that.
So, by the time the third one comes around, right? I mean, does the feeling change? I mean, is it different, or you just like every time you win, it's like the first time?
Yeah. Each one was a lot different, and each one was special. And people say, "Oh, which one was a favorite?" There wasn't a favorite. There was different types of race, but yeah, it didn't. They each mean the same.
But Dario, once you win it once, you want it again so bad, right?
Oh, yeah,
that's
very true, Scott. It's the only thing in my life I've done. The more I did it, the more it meant to me, the more sort of excited I was by it. If you do anything, it doesn't matter what you do. Like when you're doing live TV, I'm sure the first time was absolutely terrifying. By the time you've done it 10 times, you're sort of, okay, this is normal. 500 each year, I slept a bit less, I worked a bit harder, it meant a bit more, I tried that fraction more. So it was an odd thing to sort of to be involved. And you watch all the 33 drivers all putting their lives on the line, just focusing, and you think, that's kind of mad. But when you're in it, it makes complete sense. It means everything to try and win this race.
And while it's something about drivers, and I still drive and do some sports car racing, and it was never at a level like this ever, but there's nothing else that I've ever found in my life that makes me feel that way. And Dario and I have talked about that, and it's one of those things you try to get out of your system, and we just can't.
No, we can't. And I'm banned from racing by my doctors and my insurance company.
Well, I mean,
I'm just trying to find a way to get back.
Which just leads to the other question. You just spent 500 miles going 230 miles an hour. Like, how do you not leave the track that day and get out of habit, not get pulled over for speeding? You know what I mean? Like,
just let somebody else drive.
Yeah, exactly. It's so different.
Yeah.
It is such a different feeling doing that, and the speeds are so vastly different from anything you do on the street that it doesn't even add up. So you just I can't even tell you how different to drive past here. You're almost 240 in the turn one if the wind's up behind you. So everything comes at you a little bit quickly.
Yeah. So how are you keeping yourself busy these days?
Well, I work with the Ganassi team as a consultant, so I make the team go a bit faster and basically tell people what to do, which is so much easier than having to do it yourself.
Or having them tell you what to do.
Well, exactly. It's 30-degree gusting winds the other day, and I'm like, well, why are you lifting in turn 2?
Stay on the gas.
And feel like Frozen Quistler because it's really windy and the car's moving. I'm like, just keep your foot down as much. It'll feel better when you keep it flat. And I'm thinking, if I was out there is no way I'd be flat through 2. So, doing that, doing Formula E, the electric series, do the commentary on that around the world. Which makes for a busy time. Doing a TV show in the UK, a bunch of different stuff. Doing called Mission Ignition. We take 2 cars and rebuild them from scratch. The first team to rebuild it and start it gets to keep the car. So that's been quite good fun.
We're trying to bring that show to the States. So.
Yeah,
it'd be a really the show. The States need a show like that. That's really
think
cool.
of the cars.
Oh yeah.
The car culture in America. Brian Herta sent me a text and he said, "Was it an AMC Gremlin, is that it?" He said, "Do you need an AMC Gremlin as the first car?"
Nobody will know how to put that back together.
Oh, man. I don't think they did when it was new.
Got a Gremlin and a Pinto next to each other.
There you go.
See, that's it. But
we had flames on it.
We had fun with that. We had things like a Mini.
Oh, wow.
The two teams raced, so we had a Rolls Royce at one point. I will tell you, it takes 3 people to put the door on a Rolls Royce Silver Shadow. horrible car. we lost that one. That wasn't good.
That was a sad day for us all.
It was, yeah.
The car went out to pasture. We let it go. But Dario, thank you so much for swinging by.
No worries.
And look, you're a living legend here at this place. And look, you're welcome here anytime. And of course, stay out of trouble, for crying out loud.
I am trying. We're not going to Taco Bell. Scott Dixon and I are,
Yeah.
We're actually doing a driving thing today where they're filming us driving around in a car. I'm trying to put wagers on, betting on whether we go to Taco Bell.
Do you know what he's talking about, Wild?
No, but now I'm curious.
Well,
when
you
there's
have to tell
wages
the
and
story
Taco
about
Bell
Dixie
going
and
on
Taco
here.
Bell.
Okay.
After the poll.
So yeah, Scott Dixon a couple of years ago qualified on pole.
Yeah.
So a lot of press stuff to do. Spends a lot of time up here in the press centre at Speedway, and it's about 9 o'clock, and my wife and his wife are there. I was like, Scott, are you coming? The girls are hungry. We got to eat. He's like, well, I'll be there in 10 minutes, mate. Find a restaurant. So I looked, and all the restaurants in town were shut. It's like, well, you want a burger? You want Taco Bell? Taco Bell. It's his favourite meal. He always tells me his last meal would be Taco Bell. So
It's always good to know your death row meal. Yeah.
And he's a vegetarian. Okay, a little odd, yeah. But we go to Taco Bell on 16th Street. Anyway, to cut a long story short, while we're waiting at the window to put our order in, somebody sticks a gun in the car and demands our wallets and our phones. The poor guy built up his courage to rob some people and robbed the Scotsman and the Kiwi, so he got not much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He lost that deal.
The exchange rate just isn't quite the same.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so that was it. We didn't give him. Well, actually, Scott gave him Emma's wallet, and that was it. And we got away with it. We got free Taco Bell. Those guys got caught, and that was it.
Well, the thing is, when you get free Taco Bell, I mean, did they give you a limit, or you're just like, I'll take one of everything, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon?
We took 2 of everything.
Oh.
And the next morning, our boss, Chip Ganassi, called, and he was more upset the fact we'd been eating junk food, the fact that somebody stuck a gun in our heads.
Well, Taco Bell before the 500 probably would not be a good mix. Just saying.
No, exactly.
Nothing against Taco Bell. Love you. But before the race.
But Dixie figured he had a week to get it out of the system. But, Chip wasn't on the same page.
Dario Franchitti, thank you so much for swinging by.
Thanks, champ.
Thank you.